How exciting is this? If you're watching this video, then you know why you're watching it and you know my big secret or my big announcement, which is baby number 2. So these photos I had yesterday. There's like a little 3D one, 2D photos as well, which were from a scan I had yesterday, which I'll get to in a minute. But basically I am 10 weeks pregnant with baby number 2. Super duper excited, and I want to be able to share this journey with you guys, the highs, the lows, and everything in between. Okay, so let's rewind back. Today, or I should say this week, I am 10 weeks pregnant, but let's rewind back to when I found out I was pregnant. So I feel like I am really in tune with my body, and I know my body really well. We were trying to have a baby, so it wasn't a surprise or a secret that we wanted to have another baby. I know about that, but I just knew my body. So I was probably maybe 3 or 4 weeks pregnant, and I just knew. I just had symptoms. I was feeling a little bit dizzy, so my blood pressure tends to drop a little bit. And when I go from sitting to standing, as a normal person would, walking to a different room or something like that, I get kind of quite dizzy. So I sort of had those symptoms. I was extremely hungry, like bottomless pit hungry. And also just felt like sort of, you don't want to know, but nipples and things were kind of really sensitive. So I just know my body, and I just knew, I was just convinced that I was pregnant. So I did a pregnancy test and it was negative. And I was like, okay, well, maybe I'm not pregnant, maybe I'm going crazy. Period comes around, no period, yep, must be pregnant. Did another pregnancy test, still negative. So I think I actually did about 4 or 5 tests that were all negative, all in the early stages of pregnancy, and I was going mad. I was saying to my husband, I know I'm pregnant, and he's like, you're not, they're negative, like stop being a psycho woman. And then I finally did a test about a week after my period was due, so I had no period. So about a week after, when it was supposed to be due, I did another test, and I finally got a positive. So when I first found out I was pregnant, I was probably about 4.5, 5 weeks, so very early, and extremely excited. Then I was obviously sure that yes, I was right, and I was finally pregnant. Sent myself off to the doctors and had my blood tests and things like that. Then had my dating scan. I did not, excuse me, I'm totally eating and recording this at the same time. Chase is in bed for probably like another half an hour, so I was like, quick, get to it. So this pregnancy is already extremely different to my first pregnancy. They say that every pregnancy is different, and I certainly feel like this one is just miles different from the first one. Mostly because of my mindset. So when I first fell pregnant with Chase, yes, I was happy. Yes, we were planning it. Yes, I was excited. It was fantastic news, but I actually cried for about 3 weeks. So I found out at about the same sort of time, about 5-6 weeks, when I was quite early with my pregnancy. And I just cried on and off for about 3 weeks, even though it was something I wanted. I was just so scared. Terrified of labour. I'm not one that sort of was good with needles and pain and things like that, you know, when I was younger. Terrified of labour. Terrified as well of just my whole life changing. So my life is health and fitness. My life is working out. My life is exercising. Without being vain, my life is being able to just run around and do whatever I like, smash out 100 burpees if I want to, run a flight of stairs if I want to, go swimming if I want to, just be really active and have unlimited sort of options within my fitness person, and can maintain a fit, healthy body. So my business is all, unfortunately, about image. It's not all about image, but my brand is me. My body is my business. So the fact that being pregnant might completely change that, and maybe I'll never have it back, and maybe I'll just never be the same Grace again, it was really scary. So I think it was all of the unknowns at the start when I was pregnant with Chase were just quite daunting, and I kind of felt like I had to grieve or say goodbye to the Grace that I was then, and the fit sort of Grace that I was. So straight away when I found out I was pregnant with Chase, I googled the life out of the internet and searched Instagram and Facebook as far and wide, and looked for as many kind of fit pregnant women that I could, and fit mums, so people that were sort of that early in their postpartum journey, to find out, you know, what you might look like after a baby, and what happens to you when you have a baby, and how much weight you put on when you had a baby. I'm sure I googled how much weight you put on like a million times, and I really was quite obsessed and quite paranoid, quite worried. I was like, can I run? Can I get my heart rate up? Can I squat? Can I lift weights? I just had so many worries about what I could and couldn't do. And I found that there really weren't any answers out there. So I asked my doctor, I said, look, you know, I lift weights 7 days a week. Can I still do that? Her answer was, yes, absolutely. You can do anything that you feel good doing. So continue doing anything that you're already doing. If it feels okay, if it doesn't feel okay, listen to your body, but don't add in anything new. So for example, if you were someone who only trained 2 days a week, you couldn't suddenly decide to train 10 times a week when you're pregnant. You probably should just maintain those 2 days a week, because yeah, that's what your body's used to. You just want to keep everything normal for your body, and particularly in those first sort of 12 weeks. So I had kind of a lot of anxiety going into my first pregnancy, which is why, and the only reason why, I ended up writing my PowerFit pregnancy book and my PowerFit post-baby journey books, because I just don't want any other woman to feel the way that I did at the start of my pregnancy. So thankfully I have those books now for my PowerFit mamas and followers. So if you guys obviously are following this second pregnancy, you can jump on board and buy my books. They're still completely relevant. Everything is my journey and my experience, but then also has generic information in there for you. So I guess the guidelines of what you could and couldn't do whilst pregnant and postpartum is all within my book. Okay, so baby number 2, completely different. I just feel really, really comfortable and really, really confident, really, really excited, and just really satisfied, because I proved to myself that I could kind of get my body back. There's no such thing as bouncing back. I don't think that I am the same body or person that I was before I had Chase or before I had a baby, but I know that it's possible to have a fit, healthy lifestyle and be a mother. It is completely different, but it's possible. So I'm just going into this pregnancy just feeling really content, I guess might be the word. Just really, really comfortable that I'm going to have a healthy, fit pregnancy, that I've done it before, that I will survive labour, fingers crossed, and that I, can still be myself. So yeah, I just feel just so much happier this time around. And so that's 10 weeks pregnant now, 4 or 5 weeks ago, so yeah, 5 or 6 weeks pregnant, I was all determined. I was like, this pregnancy is going to be different. I don't have any regrets at all about my last pregnancy with Chase. I was extremely healthy. I have no doubts or regrets about what I did in my training, my eating, or anything like that. But I guess I will say on my eating, I did treat the last few months like it was a 2-month cheat meal. So I was thinking the baby was going to come early, and I wanted to get in all of my yummy foods that I was desiring. I wasn't tracking. I was intuitively eating, meaning just basically I was just eating whatever I wanted when I was hungry. I didn't have as much knowledge on nutrition, so still, of course, had experienced a lot of different things come out of my comp prep and things like that, but I hadn't sort of gone through the path that I have now and wasn't sort of really confident about self-tracking like I am now. So the Grace that I am today as a nutritionist is a completely different Grace to what I was when I was pregnant with Chase. So I kind of ate everything in sight, and I did put on roughly 20 kilos. So post-baby, I've now lost 25 kilos. So I ended up actually 5 kilos lighter than my starting weight was with Chase. But yeah, I put on 20 kilos, which is probably, it's not bad. Everyone's different, and it's, you know, not uncommon to necessarily put on 20 kilos, but it's not necessary. So this time, when I was 5 or 6 weeks pregnant, at the very, very start, I was like, all right, I've got this. I'm not going to put on quite as much weight. Not for visual aesthetic reasons, but for just postpartum. I won't have to work as hard to lose 25 kilos postpartum if I haven't put on quite so much during. The average amount of weight that you should, or I guess need to, put on during pregnancy is about 12 to 15 kilos, depending on your starting weight. So really 20 kilos was a little bit extra. So like I say, if I'd recorded a video 5 weeks ago, I would have been all determined, and I would have been like, yep, I'm going to self-track through this whole pregnancy. Last time was more intuitive and I didn't self-track. I just enjoyed the break and didn't see the need. This time, knowing more about nutrition, I actually really, really wanted to self-track. So I thought, nope, I'm going to track. I think it's important for the baby to have sufficient amount of protein, sufficient amount of fats, probably put my fats up a bit higher. I want to make sure that I'm not overeating excessively and I'm not undereating. So I really, really wanted to bring you guys a completely different pregnancy journey, which was going to be a flexible dieting pregnancy. Obviously not a strict diet, because I'd be eating more than I need to eat. It's not going to be a deficit or anything like that, but I really wanted to track. Then, 7 weeks pregnant, morning sickness came around. So I'm 10 weeks now and it's just starting to get better, but I still am like a carbaholic. So 7 weeks pregnant and just so sick. I haven't vomited, but I just feel seasick 24/7. It's like that feeling when you're so hungry. Like, so let's say you haven't eaten during the day for like 5 hours, which is that's a long time for me. and you are just so hungry that you feel sick and you have like rumbling stomach, you don't know what you want to eat, but you just want to feel better. That's kind of what, to me, morning sickness is like at the moment. So I just want to eat every single thing in sight that's a carb. Raw meat makes me feel sick. The smell of the fridge makes me feel sick, so I've actually put a deodorizer through the fridge twice, and no one else thinks that my fridge stinks. So I've asked my PA like 10 times a day. I've asked Heath. I've had perhaps my mum come over and I said, Mum, the fridge stinks, I don't know what it is. Everyone thinks I'm crazy and the fridge doesn't smell. But to me, it just smells weird. So food in general is just kind of like really funny. And I have tracked like 2 days in the last 3 weeks, and both those days I hit like 300 grams of carbs. So I only tracked just to see roughly where I'm at and to try not to get too overboard. My calories are about 2,500 to 3,000 probably, if I'm honest, which I am. This is the whole point of recording this, is to be honest. And everything is a carb. Like my lunch that I'm eating now is chicken soup. Like good old, from a can, Heinz or something, chicken soup. And I haven't eaten chicken soup like this for probably like years. Like maybe I might have had gastro or something like 2 years ago that I might have eaten it for, but other than that, I don't eat things like that normally. So yeah. So to wrap up the whole nutrition thing, I do want to still self-track, but I think I'm just going to wait to get past this period of morning sicknessy time. When I was pregnant with Chase, I at around 14 weeks started to feel better, so I'm thinking I might have another month or 2-3 weeks of feeling a bit off, and then I was going to say and then off, but just yeah, feeling a bit off, and then hopefully I do start to feel a little bit better, and I can, start tracking again and set a really, really good example of being a super healthy, all-rounded nutritionist who's pregnant. But I'm going to keep it real for you guys. If I get to 14 weeks and I'm just like, nope, stuff it, I'm doing intuitive way too much, then I will continue eating intuitively. So, alright, the next thing to talk about is training. So training-wise, I actually haven't trained for a month, and I'm so sad about it, and it's not really got that much to do with my pregnancy. I stopped training a month ago because my back was really sore. You guys, I know I've had problems on and off with my back. Not to worry about my aesthetics, not to worry about my strength, just to worry about being pain-free within my back. So I'll keep you posted with those workout sessions. Other than that, I've, not been lifting. I've just been walking, so I've probably been walking 3-4 days a week, if I'm honest, 3 days a week, and I would like that to come back to being every day, so that would be my goal this week, is to try and walk every day. Today I went for a little one, just 3Ks, so normally I'd walk for an hour, which is about 4 or 5Ks, but today just a 3K one, and I'm going with a little motto, a little saying that anything is better than nothing. So the fact that I got out and moving today was a good thing, and I'm not going to be too hard on myself because I am growing a little human. You guys want to see bump photo or video, don't you? So I will stand up for that. So 10 weeks, got the new Riderwear seamless crop on. So if I stand directly on the side, if I suck everything in really, really tight with my abs, then I do have this little baby bump. Oh, it's so cool. So yeah, a little baby from the front, from the side. There's a little bump there. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, it's amazing, isn't it, what our bodies can do? And I'm excited to pop this little one in my fridge. I did have, like I say, a scan yesterday at 10 weeks and a blood test, which does sort of rule out any early genetic disorders that can be determined. It's called a NEST test, now available in Adelaide. And it also does tell us the gender. So we're going to find out the gender I'm going to find out the gender next Friday. So maybe by the time I announce it, I'm going to know the agenda. So pretty exciting. I'll record another video for you guys in a couple of weeks' time. Maybe once I've had my 12-week scan and I know the gender. I hope you guys enjoy following and watching. Any questions or comments, of course, like always, let me know. I'm excited to share this journey with you guys.